With a record of 27 wins, 1 loss, and 1 no contest, Jon Jones is considered the GOAT of MMA. However, the only thing holding him back and the only one that can beat him is himself, with multiple off-the-octagon incidences involving the police, failed drug tests, and that is what makes him the most controversial GOAT of all time. Jonathan Dwight Jones was born on July 19th, 1987 in the city of Rochester, New York, which is about 100 couple miles from New York City. His parents, Arthur Jones Jr., who was a pastor for his local church, and his mother, Camille Jones, as seen in the photo. His two brothers, Chandler and Arthur, most known Chandler Jones. He is a Super Bowl champion with the New England Patriots. He played for the Patriots, the Cardinals, and currently the Raiders. His other brother, Arthur Jones, was a Super Bowl champion for the Baltimore Ravens back in 2012. In high school, Jon Jones was introduced to Greco-Roman wrestling and realized he became really good at it and became one of the best in the whole state, as seen in this old photo of him during a wrestling match. His UFC career began on the night of August 9, 2008, when he faced Andre Guzmão and won the fight by unanimous decision, showing everyone that he is one of the best. His second fight would be against the late Stephan Bonnar on January 31st, 2009, where he took the fight to unanimous decision, showing off his unique wrestling, unorthodox punches, kicks, and elbows as seen in the video. His third fight was against Jake O'Brien on the night of July 11th, 2009, and he won the fight by submission due to a guillotine choke in the second round.
Declaring the winner by tap out, Johnny Bones Jones.
And this is the only stain to his record to this day, when he fought Matt Hamill on December 5th, 2009. During this fight, Jon Jones had the top mount position for most of the fight, throwing punches, and he was looking up at the ref because he was waiting for a stoppage. So he resulted to the legal move, the 6 to 12 elbow, which results in the fighter's elbow going from, imagine a clock, 12 o'clock to 6, going straight down, which were illegal at the time and still are, and he lost the fight due to disqualification. This is the only loss to this day on his record. His next fight would be against Brandon Vera on March 21st of 2010, where he won by TKO due to elbows in the first round, and turns out that he broke Brandon Vera's orbital during this fight. His next fight would be against Vladimir Matyushenko on August 1st, 2010. He won this fight due to TKO elbows, where he got the mounted crucifix and was throwing massive elbows and getting a TKO in the first round. His next fight will be against Ryan Bader on February 5th, 2011, where he won by submission due to a guillotine choke. After this fight, Jon Jones was granted a title shot against Mauricio Shogun Rua on the night of February 5th, 2011, and he would be one of the youngest champions after beating him by a brutal knee to the head, resulting in a TKO in the third round, making him the youngest, till this day, a record unbreaking of being the youngest fighter at the age of 23 winning a UFC championship. Ever since this day, every single fight that has been on Jon Jones' record since have been title fights that can be interim or actual title fights. His first title defense will be against Quinton Jackson on September 24th, 2011, where he won the fight by submission due to a rear naked choke in the fourth round. His next fight will be against Lyoto the Dragon Machida on December 10th, 2011, where till this day might be the most brutal choke in the UFC history, where he choked him unconscious and made his body just drop to the ground looking like he died.
He's got a choke. Trying to choke him out. He's Lyoto's in trouble. Trying to finish this fight. It is all over. It is all over.
His next title defense will be against his old training partner Rashad Evans on April 21st, 2012, where he beat his old training partner by unanimous decision, ultimately dominating the whole fight the whole time. His next fight would be against Victor Belfort on September 22nd, 2012, where he won the fight due to a Kimura submission. John Jones was granted a spot in the TV show The Ultimate Fighter against Chael Sonnen, where they would eventually fight on April 27, 2013, where John Jones won the fight by TKO in the first round due to punches.
Chael's swarming on as Jones. Big knee. Looking to finish this fight early. All over him right now.
Then came one of the greatest fights in UFC history to this day when he fought against Alexander Gustafsson on September 21st, 2013, where this fight went to unanimous decision. And this was the one fight in his career where John Jones looked human and almost won a split decision, where it was a super razor-thin result in the fight.
Gustafsson is going to survive. Incredible fight.
Then he was against the ageless wonder of Glover Teixeira on April 26, 2014. This fight was also brought to unanimous decision, showing John Jones as one of the best elbowers in the UFC. And on the night of January 3rd, 2015, one of the biggest UFC rivalries have happened between Daniel Cormier and John Jones, where in the hotel lobby of a promotion, they brawled out and both fighters threw punches and were heavily fined for this. But this sparked fuel for one of the most entertaining rivalries of all time. However, this fight was completely one-sided, where John Jones was completely out-wrestling the former Olympian Daniel Cormier to win by unanimous decision. But soon after this fight was finished, it was later found out that John tested positive for sports-enhancing drugs and was stripped from his title, giving Daniel Cormier the belt. After his suspension, he would then fight against Ovince St. Preux for the interim light heavyweight champion on April 23rd, 2016, where he won the fight by unanimous decision and showing people that he wasn't washed after that break. A unification bout was finally set against Daniel Cormier again on July 23rd, 2017, where John Jones won by a TKO where he kicked Daniel Cormier in the head and then landed a series of punches that resulted in a TKO victory in the third round. However, after this fight, John Jones again tested positive for cocaine and was stripped from his belt again, giving him a longer suspension. And from that suspension, he hadn't fought in over a year and a half, but then was scheduled to fight Alexander Gustafsson to retain his belt again, where he won by TKO due to punches in the third round. Since then, he hasn't had a suspension. His next title defense will be against Anthony Lionheart Smith on March 2nd, 2019, where he dominated him the whole fight and won by unanimous decision. His next title defense will be against Thiago Santos on July 6, 2019, where he won by split decision. And throughout this fight, he was just landing brutal kicks to the leg, which just messed up Thiago Santos' legs, and he hasn't been the same since.
John's coming in hard here. He knows he's stunned up.
He's got to be careful. He's got to be careful, though. He might not be stung. He might be wobbling because of the
Big knee from Jones.
Then he would be scheduled against Dominic Reyes on February 8th, 2020, and won by unanimous decision. But this is a controversy where many believe that Dominic Reyes actually won. But many people would just disagree with that and say that John Jones won. But this is probably one of his most closest fights to this day.
Have gloves on them. Nice. It's a good left hook by John.
And still the undisputed UFC light heavyweight champion of the world,
John Jones would then vacate his light heavyweight belt and say he would be moving up to heavyweight, and took a 3-year layoff from the UFC, spreading rumors that he might fight Francis Ngannou, he might fight Cyril Gane. But then once Francis Ngannou was relieved of his duties in the UFC, then came the opportunity for the vacated light heavyweight for the heavyweight belt, when he would be scheduled to fight against Cyril Gane on March 4th, 2013.
History. 14 title wins. Again, the most ever. He's never truly lost.
Many people believe that after this 3-year layoff, after him moving up to heavyweight, he wouldn't be the same. Because Cyril Gane is one of the most prolific strikers in the UFC. But Jon Jones made this fight look completely easy, going unscathed, and won the fight due to submission choke due to guillotine in the first round.
Jones has said all week he's still moving like a light heavyweight. So about a minute in, Jones is able to get Gane to the canvas. We'll see how Gane is able to respond here. He's putting pressure.
So to this day, his 27-1 record shows that he has never really lost a fight. The only thing that stopped him from being undefeated was himself. But from this day, Jon Jones is the greatest of all time.